This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by former world champion Darren Barker here in Leeds. Darren, it's going to be show after show after show, a lot of big ones on the horizon, a big one just past us, but here we are for a big one on domestic shores. How you doing?
Yeah, very, very well. Living the boxing dream right now. This is, by my family, this is my life. I love it. I can't get enough of it. It has been hectic, but I said to Eddie at the workout yesterday, God, mate, I am wiped out. Saying it to the wrong person there. The bloke's here, there and everywhere. So he sort of laughed at me and said, what are you talking about? But it is brilliant. It's busy, but it's brilliant. Last week was so special, mate. You was there. It was incredible. It was a pinch yourself moment. I think I posted that on Instagram. Just to be there, to be involved, but to be there. Like, I remember being at home with my dad and my granddad and my brothers and whoever else 25 years ago, watching Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, and then sat there commentating Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. It was really surreal, and I actually touched the ring from a commentary desk because that's how close I was. And I was just trying to take it all in. I thought, boxing's been good to me. I've dedicated my life to boxing, but wow, remarkable. So yeah, I'm waffling here. Sorry, it's a bit of a reflective moment for me being there, and just incredible how big boxing is in my life.
Darren, listen, it was great to be a part of history.
Yeah.
As you said there. Let's just start off with before we come on to Leeds. Then, an unbelievable fight. It went from one way to the other, and in the end, Alexander Usyk came out on top. What were your thoughts, your reflections on the fight?
Right man won. I didn't score it round by round, but it was something like first round Usyk, then perhaps second round was up for grabs. Then I went sort of third, fourth, fifth, sixth, even seventh. I know seventh was up for grabs, but I felt Fury did more in the seventh round. So at that point, he was cruising. It wasn't easy, but he was winning the rounds. And then the eighth, I think it was where the damage was done, and then the ninth, obviously, it was all Usyk. A round or two for Usyk was correct, without a doubt. It was just brilliant. It was just, honestly, I could not believe. All of a sudden, the first bell sounded, and then it was over. It was one of those, and that's how you know it was a good fight. What an occasion, what a fight, and it'd be interesting to see what happens next.
I agree with that initial kind of outlay that you've just given us, how you were scoring the rounds. I think I had about 4-2 to Fury after 6. Could argue him having the 7th, but when Usyk kind of flipped the switch, when the rounds seemed to just be getting away from him, when Fury started to take a little bit of control of the fight, was it a surprise to you to see Usyk find those extra gears, not just one gear, but 3 or 4 gears to continuously press the fight?
Do you know what? I can't believe I'm saying this, but because it's Usyk we're talking about, but maybe it did a little. The only reason is because there was a constant pattern for about 3-4 rounds where you thought, well, look, the bigger man's getting into his groove now. He's quite comfortable on the back foot. He was varying his movement. He was varying that right hand. He was dropping it to the body really well, Fury. And he had no real answers, Usyk, though he was still applying pressure with that front foot, making Fury work an awful lot. And look, we've seen Fury move a lot in the past, and it doesn't really affect him. But as you get older, that movement, that having to move that frame, can't be easy, and the speed, the accuracy that allowed Usyk to find that left hand was remarkable. It was such a good shot, and it just shows you don't have to be this hard, thudding knockout artist. If you can deliver a shot with speed and accuracy, and timing, of course, you can do a lot of damage.
Do you think on reflection, Darren, Tyson maybe got a little too comfortable in there?
But I was about to say that, sorry. I think he got a bit complacent because things were going his way, and you started to see him showboat and things that we are used to seeing, but I don't think were needed. I think just go about your business, get things done. But I think he said in there he was enjoying himself, was in cruise control. But when you're in there with an elite level operator, like a generational great in Alexander Usyk, you can't afford to switch off. It takes a split second, as we see, to completely turn the fight upside down. If he does remain switched on and he doesn't get, this is hindsight, but how does the fight play out? If he doesn't get hurt in that 9th round, does he just cruise to a points victory? He'll be kicking himself, but be interesting to see what happens next, mate.
one of the big talking points at the end of the fight was kind of how Tyson might lean on Usyk. He looked to use his body weight, and afterwards I saw all the clips coming out of whenever Tyson tried to tie him up, tried to put him in a clinch, Usyk never allowed him to. He always kind of found his way out of it. How impressed were you by that sentiment, and not Alexander kind of not allowing the big man to
He said it. He said, didn't he? He goes, "I'm not going to leave you alone. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to leave you alone." And I didn't quite know what he meant by that, if I'm honest, but it was evident straight away what he'd been saying. He backed it up straight to the centre of the ring, and it was incredible to see, a man, he's not small by any stretch of the imagination, but he's smaller than Tyson Fury. So have him on the retreat was so impressive. So for me, if this rematch does happen, I think it's important for Tyson to sort of vary it, mix it up a little bit. I don't think he can remain on the back foot all the time. But I do think spurts on the front foot, tie up Usyk, really lean on him and, try and tire him in some way will be important in the rematch. But, it's round 13 if they do fight again. Round 13, you'd see it again, wouldn't you, gladly?
Would you say now that a Fury-Usyk fight is bigger than a potential Fury-Joshua fight, a rematch that is?
That's a good question. AJ brings a different audience to the fight. There's been that bad blood that's stemmed for years. The battle for who's number one in the UK. It's a big fight. It's a massive fight. But the first fight was so good between Fury and Usyk. Didn't he win? I believe, and most do, that Usyk won, but there are some people that still think Fury won. It builds it nicely, like I say, round 13. I'm all for AJ Fury. Will it happen, though? I don't know. We're getting to the end of this great era of the heavyweights, which I think we've really got to try and embrace these last few fights of these great fighters that have given us so many great nights, because the new crop are starting to come through now. So I'm just I want it all to slow down a little bit. I remember it when Tyson retired, when Lewis retired. You're like, oh, you're on a bit of a downer, but then all of a sudden the new stars come. But the new stars coming through, it sometimes take a while. We've seen brilliant nights with AJ Fury, Wilder, all these fighters. Joe Parker, I mean, he's still only 31, 32, so he's still got a little bit to go. But it's been a great crop of fighters that we've been able to watch. Still some fights that we want to see to get made, but yeah, enjoy it while it lasts.
Darren, I have to ask you, obviously there was a lot of talk in the 9th round. Could the referee have stopped the fight? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think let it go until there's a knockdown or, a real reason to jump in and stop it. But justice prevailed, the right man won. But yeah, it should have been played out. What would have been left? I'm guessing about 20 seconds. It was a long count. There wasn't long after. So yeah, there's about 20 seconds there where someone like Usyk, who's a tremendous finisher, could have got the job done decisively. I don't think we really need. It's not like that happened and Fury won. Usyk won. The right man won. So I don't think it's that much of a talking point, if I'm honest.
Last thing with it all, obviously, there was a lot of talk after the fight about the trio in the corner, obviously Andi, Sugar and John Fury. Do you think there's too many voices in the corner? That's been one of the talking points since.
Don't really have much to say about that. I don't know. I think someone like Tyson, if it was too overbearing, would have said something. He would have told someone to shut up. It's worked in the past, I guess. I don't know. Will there be changes in the rematch? Possibly, but yeah, I don't know.
Move away from that. Taylor-Catterall 2. How different of a second fight do we see from what we saw first time around?
I think, well, look, I just mentioned the rematch Fury-Usyk being round 13. I think it's round 13 here. They both know each other now. They both know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and I just feel it will catch fire quicker. I think we'll see a similar approach from Josh Taylor, and we'll see a similar approach to Jack Catterall. Josh, the more fiery out of the two. Jack Catterall, very disciplined, doesn't let emotion get the better of him, and he dictates behind a lovely jab. I had a conversation with Josh Taylor at the British Boxing Board of Control Awards, and he was telling me about how he's had the eye operation, and he couldn't believe that he's competed at such a high level with that blurred vision. Now he's got sort of panoramic vision, is what he described it, like HD. He's seeing clearly, which is pivotal if you're to succeed as a high-level boxer. I don't believe he was just saying this for the sake of it. There's kind of that respect that fighters have when you're telling each other, we're off camera, and he's just saying, look, Darren, he goes, I can see, he goes, I've got no excuses now. My eyesight is brilliant. And you think, wow, I mean, that's impressive. If you've been able to go into those fights, Lopez, etc., Ramirez, Prograis, or however long it was, with that blurred vision, then, you know, that's incredible, even going into the Catterall fight. But Jack, there's something about him. He's just smooth, relaxed, disciplined, and he doesn't get caught up into his opponent's style of fighting. He couldn't miss with the left hand, but was he landing so frequently with the left hand because of the eye of Josh Taylor? There's so much questions here. It was so many questions for me personally that I'm looking forward to being answered. It's a brilliant fight, brilliant fight. I just think perhaps the guy that can control the tempo of this fight wins.
Do you think we see a fight fought on emotion, Darren?
From Taylor, perhaps. I just think Jack's so centered and he's so disciplined that I don't think he'll get drawn into Josh Taylor's antics. But don't get me wrong, the way Josh fights with that emotion, that rawness, does make him a danger man, and it has helped him to win so many big fights. So it's a cracker. I can't wait.
I just want to go forward to next weekend as well. Get your thoughts on Deontay Wilder versus Zhang.
I think I'm leaning towards Zhang in this one, but two massive punchers. I think prime Wilder, prime Zhang, massively on Wilder. How much is left? How much fight is left? I'm interested in talking to him on Monday and asking him, honestly, man to man, fight to fight, how much fight is left? Is there still that brutal, horrible, nasty streak in you? Or are you content, relaxed and happy with what you've achieved in the sport? Because if he is, then I do fancy Zhang, who I was left disappointed with him after the Parker fight. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm a big fan of both. I love Josie Parker, what a man. I was lucky to do commentary with him on Saturday, but put your foot on the gas, what he's doing? Like Zhang, he's so lazy. Barry Jones says something brilliant and it resonated with me. It's like the arrogance of a puncher. You just think at any minute you're going to land a big shot. You can't do that. You got to be, you know, you got your man hurt. You've got to go for the finish. So it's a really cracking fight, which Eddie says is going to be the last fight on the card. Could be all to play for. Double points for Wilder. Might need them. How much fight's left? That's a big question.
All right, Darren, I appreciate your time as always. I'm leaving you to go get your phone fixed. Thanks for speaking to me.
Cheers, mate.